Thank you for having us, indeed. And indeed, we were hoping that the court will provide some relief for our teachers and our learners who have worked so hard. So we welcome the judgment, and we hope that the department will also take this judgment in good faith in order to ensure that the learners who are not responsible for the leak are not being punished, and therefore their papers will be marked accordingly in terms of the order of the court. So we welcome this particular decision, but also it's a lesson for Umwalusi that they don't have to make irrational decisions. They don't have to make decisions on the basis of fear. They must always rely on logic, rely on reasonability, but also rely on hard evidence that they are supposed to be doing before they make an intimidating and threatening statement that they would not be releasing the results, because it is not about who is winning and who is losing here. It's about the interest of our learners and our country.
About that, what was their standpoint in this? We understand that they said the integrity, or they want to protect the integrity of both papers, the maths paper 2 and the physical science paper 2. And you are saying that they jumped the gun. What do you mean? Can you just explain it for us, please?
Yes, because when they went to the minister and said to the minister that we will not release or certify the outcome, you don't do that. You wait for evidence. You wait to say, yes, indeed, we have done everything we can. So one, they were supposed to investigate, and they know that they can embark on a forensic marking or investigative marking, and they can isolate those who have had an access to the question paper. It's not difficult. You can be able to do that, because these learners are coming from grade 11. These learners have written paper 1, and you can go back and check what is their performance in paper 1 and why is that the performance in paper 2 has all of a sudden jumped from where the paper 1 is not, or where were they in 2019 in terms of grade 11. And those things are there. They are the tools that they're supposed to use. But really, to put a gun on the head of the minister and say we are not going to release, they themselves were undermining the credibility of the examination, because they wanted to use fear to be the measurement of credibility. Credibility is measured in terms of quantifiable evidence that you are going to be put on the table and say we have 300 learners or 500 learners out of 390,000 learners. Therefore, these of the 380,000 are valid and these one are not valid. You don't generalize. And that to us was very problematic.
You speak about the decision by the minister undermines the work your teachers and the learners have put out through a difficult year, and this vindicates what you were saying all along.
Yes, it does vindicate what we're saying all along, to say, look, please, don't paint all the 390,000 learners and the teachers who worked so hard in a very difficult year and put them on the trauma that the learners have gone through already, and then you double that particular trauma. So we feel vindicated, and therefore we think that the department must go back and follow their management plan and then mark the scripts of all the learners accordingly, because they deserve not to be judged, they deserve not to be condemned, because they did not use the leaked papers. Those who have used the leaked paper, there are mechanisms to deal with that, and therefore they must.
Your concerns with regard to leaked papers, that's Sadtu. I'm sure that you must be concerned, because it happens almost every year when it comes to exams. A paper this is leaked, paper that is leaked. You're concerned on your side?
Yes, we are very much concerned, just like any other person. And indeed, that's why we are saying credibility is not something that you pick out from the tree. You have got to work to making sure that there's credibility. And therefore, these leakages have got to be looked at very seriously with all the tools and all the resources that we have in our country. We don't think in an era of technology we can have a situation where the papers are leaked and they cannot be traced immediately, because we have got those particular facilities in our country through the works or through any other institution to be able to do that. But the other thing, it is that it's important that the government must strengthen their own security in terms of printing the papers, but also in terms of how they store those particular papers. Make sure that the security is tightened, and therefore they have got always be aware that how they can monitor how the papers are moving from one center to the other, because we have got those particular facilities today, and therefore they can trace anything. So obviously they need to improve the security around that, if indeed they are worried about the credibility, that as much as we are worried about the credibility.
In the judgment today, as I read it, just some excerpts from it. The first and second respondents, being the Department of Basic Education, are ordered to take all necessary steps to ensure that the examination answers script of those learners who have not been found to have been involved in irregularities and to pertaining to the examination of the above papers be marked and be certified as would have been if it was any other year. That in itself would say to you also a huge relief to the over 390,000 learners who I'm sure over the past week or so have been stressing over not even getting the results next year, but having to go through that all over again.
Yes, it's a relief to the parents, it's a relief to our teachers, it's a relief for, in particular, our students, because I can tell you, some of the students were already asking us whether there is any need for them to write the last papers that they was writing 2 days ago or yesterday or any other day, whether they should be continuing to write it. Because what happened if those papers, some people are going to leak them and therefore they've got to rewrite them? Maybe they should wait and not even write at all, so that then they are punished for something that it is real. So indeed, we are happy that they will receive their results as per the timetable that was given by the minister, and therefore they will then be able to apply just like any other students to the higher education institution and any other post-secondary school. We are happy about that, and we really wish all our learners a very a safe festive season, and therefore they don't need to be traumatized. And as they are writing their last subject on the 15th, we wish them well.
Sadtu General Secretary Mugwena Maluleke, thank you very much indeed for speaking to us just at the back of the news that High Court has set aside matric rewrite decision, saying that the minister's decision on the 4th of July, or 4th of December rather, should not be, continue. Thank you very much there, sir.